I'm looking. Oh,
In a second.
got it over here. Old spot.
Trish, look how far back my
Yeah,
hair
look at the back
is.
of my hair.
Look how far back it is.
I know. It's perfect now.
Yeah, it's like right here. That's half. What's going on up here? This is like a peninsula. See this? There's like I got
I mean, just that. You said it first.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to our. Good evening. Tonight, stand for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Councilmember Clotworthy?
Here.
Councilmember Darrow?
Here.
Councilmember Holler?
Here.
Councilmember McConnell?
Here.
Councilmember Ostrom?
Here.
Council President McAdams?
Here.
Mayor Granstrom? Here. This meeting was advertised in accordance with Open Public Meetings Act, complies with all the laws therein. We have the meeting minutes for work session held on May 7th, 2025, regular session held on May 19th of 2025. I need a motion to accept.
Motion. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
We have committee reports. We need a motion to accept the committee reports.
Motion.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Move along into correspondence. I have one correspondence, Mayor. We have Mayor and Council. Thank you for your time and your kind note and flowers. I truly appreciate your support and prayers during this time. I look forward to our continued work together. Norcross, Donald Norcross.
Yeah, he was ill.
Can't read his handwriting, but it's there.
Yeah.
Is that photocopied or handwritten?
No, it looks like it's handwritten for it.
We put eyes on it.
I think it's photocopied. Might be the generic letter he sent to everybody. You never know. So, but
That's
that's,
it for the correspondence. That's it.
yeah, it's nice of him to send something back. We have, public portion, Mayor. The individual must state their names, addresses for the record, respective 5-minute time limit while addressing the governing body. I need a motion to open to public.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Ayes have it. We're now open to the public.
John Croswitz, 126 New Jersey Road. Is there any possible way we can get some garden stakes for the community garden?
Yeah.
Good. That's all I got.
Amazing.
No, thank you. John's been helping out in the community garden. I don't know, we don't have any pictures, but we went from dirt to, we got stuff really growing.
We don't.
Jeff is,
I'll get pictures up.
Jeff is chairing that. He's, really excited about it. They're there every day. And, it's everything, the proceeds or whatever would come out of there, this was a beginning. It's not a community garden in the sense where people can come and plant corn or something like that. So whatever, all the plants were donated by Cameron County Greenhouse down in Lakeland. I stopped in there one day and introduced myself to them, and they spent 3 hours there, and they said, "Come get your plants." So we had a whole van full of plants. Jeff and myself spent a day, which is not easy,
Yeah, it's a little tedious.
especially when you're looking for them, you see all that stuff planted out there, and we couldn't straighten up the next day. That's all I don't want to ramble.
Maybe something like this, is there like an account that people could donate to, or you drop them off or anything like that?
Yes, we always welcome for donations and so forth. We do have 1 or 2 people in town that will look over with myself and Mr. Mayor and so forth. As we're on the subject, I did make up shirts.
Yeah.
So there's green and blue, so I'm working on that.
Nice.
Go with the committee to see how many we need. Trying to get them donated. If not, there's gonna be 3, 4, see if we can get them into the budget. I think it'd be nice for people to wear around town and so forth, just to not advertise, but say, proud of the Brooklawn garden and so forth. When it comes, we're gonna donate to seniors and people that, need food. Unfortunately, there's people out there, but there's tomatoes. I mean, it's really doing well. thank you to Mr. Ostrom here too for helping out with the garden. It's a lot of teamwork, but it's going really, really well. It really is. Like I said, last work session, I'm trying to get some pear trees and apple trees. Donations is a tough word right now, but I'm working, trying to get some donations. If not, half cost on them, maybe, we'll see. So I'm actively working on it.
Message me tomorrow.
Oh, absolutely, sure.
Anyone else? State your name.
Hi, good evening. My name is Justin Benoit. I reside right across the street at 304 Highland Road. I came here today to speak about the parking situation. My husband and I just made a year of living in the area. Just celebrated our 1-year anniversary. Has not been a smooth ride. Been having neighbor problems and everything. I'm sure everyone's aware. But I wanted to talk about the public parking situation because it was brought to my attention when we first moved that public parking is the whole block all around the community. I'm a bartender. I own a business in Gloucester City. I am a night owl. You can catch me at 3:30 in the morning. A lot of the officers see me walking my animals because I don't get home until 3:30 in the morning. I'm on opposite schedule of my neighbors, but I have 2 neighbors, one at 306 and one at 308, that are playing parking wars and preventing me from having any kind of parking spots when I come home at night. And both of them have driveways. One of them at 308 has a designer driveway that's skirted off. They won't park in front of it. They won't park in it. It creates problems because, you know, I've had driveways before in the past where I've had multiple vehicles and I've been able to park. I know I'm coming from Philly, but I've been able to park in front of my driveway to free up parking for my neighbors. I'm trying to see if anything can be done about that, if that skirt can be taken off, and that way it will free up more parking if they don't want to park in their driveway. I'm just seeking help in this situation. It's a struggle coming home at 3:30 in the morning and not having anywhere to park. Thankfully, I have neighbors on the opposite side of me that have been looking out for me and able to, you know, accommodate me and you know, not give me any kind of stress or drama. But I can't say the same thing for the neighbors on the opposite side. So I just want to see what my options are for that. Thank you.
I don't know what, you know, we can refer this to our police, but, you know, it's a small town. I don't know if you've ever lived in Philadelphia. I have.
I've lived in Philly for 22 years. I come from a small town in Louisiana. I'm born and raised in a small community. And when I moved from Philly, I thought this would be a return to small town life. And I've never encountered anything like I'm dealing with right now. And in reference to parking, I don't feel like we should be bullied about public parking. In Philly, it's public parking as well. I've never had anything happen in the 20 years that I was there where neighbors were giving me problems like this at all, especially with parking. I've lived in the city a long time.
So you're saying neighbors, right? You said
Yes.
more than one neighbors.
Yes, I have neighbors at 306 across the street and 308. I have video surveillance of them working together, banding together. Mayor, I know you know that we've gotten a handicap parking spot in front of our house. They're trading off handicap passes to prevent my husband from parking in the handicap spot. And another option that I was saying, if that person doesn't want to park in front of their driveway, why can't they go the route that we went and try and get a handicap parking spot in front of their house? Since they actually have a handicap tag, why can't they follow the same thing that we had to and go through all the hoops that we had to get our handicap spot that they are trading off and taking? Now my direct neighbor next door has someone else parking there with a handicap tag, or he took somebody's handicap tags, and I caught him and the other neighbor on the other side of him at 308 trading off spots to prevent us from having any kind of parking in front of our house. I know that there's I was told when I moved here, no one has guaranteed parking in front of their house. I'm fine with that. My car does not have to be in front of my house, but it's just the act of being neighborly. And I'm just looking for solutions, basically. I just don't understand how it works that someone can have a driveway, have it skirted off, not park in the driveway, but yet dictate where others can park. And this person has been harassing me since before I went to closing on my house.
I can't speak about anyone else. They're not here to defend themselves.
No, I know. I understand that. I'm just sitting and want to know what the ordinances are and the laws are in reference to that. How can it be that someone can have a driveway, not want to use it, not want to park in front of it, but yet dictate parking
I think,
principles.
I know I'm familiar with the situation that you're talking about. And I would like to sit this down in this room or anywhere and try to come to a compromise because it's gonna be a long, long summer if, let's say that the other folks come in and I hear the same thing, they do this and they do, it's back and forth.
It's back and forth, Mayor, but I don't have a driveway. These two neighbors, they have driveways.
You do have a driveway.
I have the handicap parking spot and I do have a garage in the back, but like them, I have multiple vehicles as well too. And one of them has a 2-car driveway. The other one, they can park multiple cars in their driveway as well too. So I'm just asking for fairness, that's all. I don't have a driveway in front of my house right there. I just have the handicap parking spot, but that's still public. I know that anyone who has a handicap tag can park there. I'm well familiar with that. But I feel like I'm just being bombarded by parking wars every day with these people, and it just doesn't make sense for people who have driveways in their home and available to them, readily accessible, and they're not using it, but yet they're dictating where others can park. And I've heard this from other people in the community. It's not just my husband and I. I've heard it from all over because not everybody in this area has not been kind to us. I've met a lot of nice people in this area, and I know this situation doesn't speak for the whole town. But I'm just seeking some kind of resolution, some kind of advice, because I just don't know what to do, and I'm tired of coming home at night and dealing with the same situation every night. I work hard. I'm trying to maintain a business, and I'm working full time as well too. I'm back and forth in Philly. I'm hardly ever at my house. I sleep during the daytime. I work at night. So it's like I'm on the opposite schedule of some of these people, and it just doesn't make sense. So that's the only reason I showed up, to bring this up, to see if there was something that can be done about someone who has a driveway but is refusing to use it.
I appreciate you coming in.
Thank you, Mayor.
We could speak to that about, I don't know, personally, I don't think you can prevent anybody from parking in the driveway, so they have a driveway. I mean,
But if it's skirted off where no one can park in front of it,
well,
it's chained off.
yeah, Brian,
I know this is an open matter with the police department. I'm not inclined to say a whole lot until I speak to the captain first.
Okay.
Only because there are multiple cross complaints from what I understand.
Yeah, and that's the problem. I think what we need to come together as a town, as neighbors somehow. This is not the first feud that we've had in Brooklawn. Bruce attests to that. There were feuds in town. Feuds. We don't want a feud, and we don't want unhappy.
I don't want it either. And lately I've been in the media for my business, and things are going well for me business wise. And it just sucks that in my town that's 5 minutes away, I'm having issues like this, and I'm trying to resolve them the right way. I'm trying to go about through the right channels. But I'm just over the bullying. Like I said, it's been a year now. We just made a year that we actually moved in, and it's just been nonstop. And like I said, the bullying about parking, the parking conversation was one of the first immediate things that these neighbors brought to my husband and I's attention when we moved in. And we tried to be neighborly then, and then things just got out of hand. But I just want fairness. That's all. I just don't understand how you can have a driveway, have it chained off. You don't park in front of it, and you prevent everyone else from parking in front of it as well. That would free up a couple of parking spots on the block.
A question for our chief here. It's a technical question, technically speaking, right? You chain off your driveway so you can't enter it. No one's going to enter it. Why couldn't you park?
In the state, you're not allowed to park in front of any driveways. You can't even park in front of your own driveway. Like, block off your driveway, that's technically illegal.
That's where I'm confused, because in Philly you can't.
So
that's where I'm like.
So in our borough ordinance, just to give an ordinance clarification, because some of it is in the ordinance, and I understand that the tightness of the parking and everything. So there's nothing written in our municipal ordinance or any state ordinance that I'm aware of that says that you have to make somebody park in their driveway. If they want to, it's their property, they don't have to. Like,
I understand.
we can't make them, so I can't address that in an ordinance.
But what about the chained off portion as far as anyone parking in front of there? Why can't?
So it is not
that
only
in the
a
ordinance?
municipal ordinance, it's a state ordinance that without express written permission, you can't park in front of somebody else's driveway.
But what about your own?
Yeah, if she,
Cause I've had a driveway,
so it depends on how it lays out. It's very nuanced. And council, I'm not trying to carry this any longer than it needs to be. You're in a situation like I live on a number of streets where my neighbor and our driveway would both meet. So if I parked in front of my driveway, how are they gonna back out? Let's say they had net 350 and I had
Yes,
net
yes,
350, it's
yes.
just not good business.
yes,
Here, you're in an area that you could make that swing.
yeah,
But we can't make somebody park in front of the driveway. Can they in this situation? There's things that are allowed because of circumstance.
I
So that would be
understand.
something that happened, but for anybody else to park in front of their driveway, you need express written present, like Justin, you would have to have written permission from me to park in front of my driveway.
right.
So if that's the case, that's on.
And I don't wanna park
We
in front of
can't-
her driveway, I
we-
just wanna ask if she
Yeah,
can park
as a
in front of hers.
municipal, absolutely, and especially given the fact that there's no driveway. across the street.
Exactly,
But we can't make somebody do it.
okay.
We can't make.
When I was living in Philly, we had a driveway and we
Yeah.
were able to park, we had multiple vehicles and we were able to park our vehicle in front of it with no problems.
Just ordinance wise, there's nothing really on the books where we can force where somebody can park, that's all.
All I can tell you, sir, is that I personally am gonna reach out to some other neighbors here, and see if we can't come to some kind of
Thank you, because I have had, like I said, it hasn't been everybody, it's just those two neighbors in general and maybe someone on the side street, but other than that, other neighbors on the block, they see what I'm going through, they know what time that I come home in the morning, they work early, I work late, they've been saving me spots, but I feel bad for them because, listen, I'm not trying to put anybody out, I'm all about fairness, and
Okay.
you know, thankfully, I have people that have been nice to me in the community and they have been looking out, but it shouldn't be
There's
that
some good
way.
in everyone. There's some good in everyone. We just
Yeah.
gotta find them. All right,
Exactly.
Thank you.
Thank
very
you.
much. Anyone else? Anyone? In the back? Okay, no other, I guess.
We need a motion
Motion
to,
to close.
Close.
Second.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
all in favor?
Aye.
Moving on to the resolutions. Consent agenda, these items are listed below are considered to be routine by the Borough of Brooklawn and will be enacted in one motion. There will be no formal discussion of these items. If formal discussion is had, we will pull the resolution from the agenda. We have resolution number 105, 2025, authorizing chapter 159, the amount of $5,136.77 for clean communities. Resolution number 106, 2025, authorize acceptance of resignation of tax assessor James Duda. Resolution number 107, 2025, authorize a raffle license 18 of 2025 for Brooklawn American Legion fundraisers for the seniors. Resolution number 108, 2025, authorizing chapter 158, the amount of $84,913.20 from the New Jersey Economic Development Authority. Resolution number 108 of 2025, authorizing local support for Puffin NJ Inc. for a Class 1 cannabis cultivation business, Class 2 manufacturing business application for the New Jersey Cannabis Regulatory Commission. Resolution number 110 of 2025, authorizing the liquor licenses for the 2025 and 2026 year. Resolution number 111 of 2025, authorizing to apply municipal liens from code enforcement charges. Need a motion to accept?
I'll make the motion.
I'll second it.
We go with Trish on that one. Need a roll call vote. You have Councilmember Clotworthy,
Yes.
Councilmember Darrow,
Yes, except for resolution 109, 2025. I do not support the cannabis cultivation practice. Okay, I just want that noted.
Okay.
okay, Councilmember Holler,
Yes, except for resolution number 109, 2025, due to verbiage of support as well as my councilman, Mr. Darrow. I agree.
Councilmember McConnell,
Yes.
Councilmember Ostrom,
Yes.
Council President McAdams.
Yes.
All right, the end of the consent agenda. We have the bills and vouchers. We have a list of bills, motion to pay all bills and vouchers in that order. I need a motion to accept.
Motion, second.
Councilmember Plotworthy,
Yes.
Councilmember Darrow,
Yes.
Councilmember Holler,
Yes.
Councilmember McConnell,
Yes.
Councilmember Ostrom,
Yes.
Council President McAdams.
Yes.
We have items of discussion. The first item, we're gonna skip the first one for a second. The first item will be the pickleball court. I think, Council President McAdams has an update to go over.
Yeah, so we're, everybody's been over, so the paint is completed, the net just got put up yesterday. Electric's done, so we're right on the cusp of kind of getting that thing going. We weren't happy with the way the paint came out entirely. I wasn't happy with the, how they ended up kind of edging in at the end. The actual court itself looks fabulous, but around the side wasn't the greatest job in the world. So the contractors are gonna be coming back out to fix that, prior to opening, so something we weren't happy with. Aside from that, everything is going. We are awaiting, which we're gonna be, Ryan's gonna be talking about. We have to put in the ADA ramp out front, so that's the biggest obstacle we're facing right now. We went through a bunch of different quotes. We were starting with concrete, we went to Trex deck, and we went to wood. We were trying to find out the most economical way to do it. We ended up landing with aluminum. They'll come out with a commercial aluminum ramp, is where we kind of ended up with it. So that's the position we like to go in. That's 4 weeks out from order, so we would like to get that placed today to give us a shot at, we're saying like maybe August 3rd. We could possibly shoot for an opening date for the court, which would be great. Aside from that, that's kind of where we are.
Okay, so we have two quotes. One is for what we talked about today, the 27,000 you said, and then you had a concrete quote that was over the bid threshold.
Yeah, we have I think we have 3 concretes in at this point, quotes, and we have 2 aluminum quotes.
Two aluminum
The
quotes.
27 is the
lowest
lowest one,
quote.
which includes, the biggest obstacle is obviously being ADA compliant. That's where all the rails themselves in the last quote came at 32,000 just for the rails. Nothing else that was in there. So that's been the biggest obstacle, has been the ADA compliance on it. But this newest solution with the aluminum ramp, I think we found.
Your vendor wasn't prepared for this when they were quoting everything?
So
Taken out.
it was taken out because they
Taken out.
wanted almost 65,000 to complete that part of the project.
I see.
It was like an add-on to the actual bidding.
Yeah.
And that's why we didn't want it, and plus it was over the 20% contingency on the capital project.
The playground, they were
couldn't get it.
hardcore of doing that at the beginning, but it was all wrapped into the design. where-
We wrapped it, we wrapped it except the form play was in there, but the work wasn't. We said that's separate outside the contract.
Cool.
But we still had a contingency of some work being put back in for when they came in and helped install. That work was not part of the first part of it, but that's where the contingency, but this contingency was well
Crazy.
above the 20%.
Yeah.
The 20% would have only been $20,000. This was well above. So we had to do a whole separate project outside of it.
Yeah, cool.
So
I would
we
have
need a
loved it.
motion to,
Yeah, and I would love to see it be
Capital.
concrete. It's just not economical, and meeting ADA is so difficult. So this just solves the problem. It's by far the cheapest route we could possibly go, and it's going to look good. It's not like it's going to be something that's going to be like.
It's still pretty much lifetime, yeah.
Yeah, it'll be
be
there forever. Yeah.
This particular company does this, what they do is for.
Football stadiums, yeah, leading up to football stadiums, you can like Gloucester High, all those
Yeah, yeah.
ramps that kind of lead in. They
That's good.
they do it all the
Because
time.
you don't have to have these severe footings, you don't have this or that.
It's good.
and you had no problem putting asphalt.
That's another discussion that we're having. We're gonna tie that in with a separate project. So the minute council gets started on this, me, Skip, Colin, whoever is on that thing, we'll get rocking and rolling, calling our people to get that started, and we can.
That shouldn't be a huge expense, though, just to asphalt that one part at the beginning. So you
We're
just
gonna work
eliminate,
that in with the bathrooms and some other things.
so you can extend it on the way through
Yeah,
and have a platform for it.
yeah, we're gonna get, we can get started on excavation and all that other stuff over there because we only got 4 weeks deadline, so.
And we have a lot of residents obviously asking like, why isn't it open? And it looks like it's finished, and it does. It's just, we have to have the ADA ramp,
Why do you tell them?
People that are capable can walk in, but
You don't want one
we just
person in
can't.
the wheelchair comes over there, and
Exactly.
you're gonna be sued.
Yeah, so we are where we are. It's technically playable, but we can't.
So you need to put a motion on the floor to
To move ahead.
move ahead with that
So we can order.
project.
It would be lifetime mobility.
Make a motion.
Can I ask a question first before we make a motion?
Sure.
The bird obstacle is concluded.
You're just a bad mischief. So the bird obstacle, it's a tough one.
Yeah.
I'm
That's
up
not
all-
included in this part, the bird
Yeah.
obstacle, it would probably be a quote, because it should be under $6,600 to, like, if we get two quotes, we've gotten prices in around that range. So that could be a totally separate,
So my latest today was 3,900.
yeah, see, so that would be totally separate. It's expensive,
So.
but, you know, you got a lot of glass you gotta coat and put the
Put
count.
window cleaners on there.
There's several options that we have, and what they are, they come in a pallet type thing, see the dots that you really can't see.
You can't see.
From a distance, it would look like it's toned down and, you know, with the birds.
What they do on skyscrapers.
Yeah, I didn't realize, every high skyscraper, any big building, they fly in, and birds are not too smart.
Yeah.
They're actually, Colin was telling me, they're actually flying in the Borough, and they can't get out.
Yeah.
They just keep flying into the.
And I think once it's active and people are actually playing and it's not just vacant, I think birds aren't gonna fly in there when people are down there playing, so I think that'll certainly help the situation. But certainly,
Inside or the outside? I'm sorry.
both.
Both.
Yeah, but the decals, once the decals go up, I just called, actually, before I came here, I contacted a company in Haddonfield, I just found that installs them. So they're gonna be my latest quote to try and get going on this, but 3,900 is where we came with the last one. We've been through the possibility of putting trees up, putting trees surrounding on it. We came up with, obviously, doing decals in terms of wording, you know, write Brooklawn on it and do the wording kind of thing. But this seems to be the most scientifically studied concept that certainly does help. So.
Yeah,
that's
it
the
works,
route we're looking
it's
at.
a science, it really is, right?
Yeah. We don't have to do the front, there's nothing hitting the front, and there's actually nothing hitting the right side at all. So it's just the left side and back side, which probably we could solve with trees, but I don't know.
I can't believe this, we didn't think of that, this part, when we did this whole thing.
Yeah, I didn't
You know,
anticipate
normally-
birds.
I would never thought of this.
This is a state-of-the-art complex with soundproof glass, you know, it's really.
You can't hear a thing when you're inside that thing.
No, it does its job for the neighbors, they're gonna be down there, we did the right thing.
Yeah, when we were in there today, I thought we were in our own little, it was like scary.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's your own little world.
Yeah. I already live in one anyway.
So we need a motion to approve Lifetime Mobility, for their quote on the ramp.
Second.
Councilmember Clotworthy,
Yes.
Councilmember Darrow,
Yes.
Councilmember Holler,
Yes.
Councilmember McConnell,
Yes.
Councilmember Ostrom,
Yes.
Council President McGowan.
Yes.
Okay. I'm gonna do the thing
Yeah.
first.
Mr. Johnson, if we could, add just as a housekeeping matter, have a revote on resolution 10/2025 concerning the liquor license.
And so we have, we're gonna redo resolution number 110, 2025, authorizing liquor license 2025 and 2026. We need a motion to accept that resolution.
I make that motion.
A second?
Second.
Okay, we have, Councilmember Clotworthy,
I'm going to abstain.
Councilmember Darrow,
Yes.
Councilmember Holler,
Yes.
Councilmember McConnell,
Yes.
Councilmember Ostrom,
Yes.
Council President McGowan.
Yes.
Motion carries. And we'll move on to the next subject. We have the assessor replacement. I have put the advertisement in the paper today for the assessor replacement. I had 3 resumes right now for the assessor. I don't know if the personnel committee wants to sit in on them. They're really a basic thing. You have to have a state license to be an assessor. I'm going to call them in to see what they would accept basically just if they would accept our salary. Our salary is $8,500. If they're not going to accept that, then obviously they're not going to be in the running. And if they want to accept that, I was going to have them come in and talk to them. One of them lives in Mount Ephraim, the other one lives in Mount Laurel, and I think the other one lives in Gloucester County somewhere. So they're all close, fairly close. So I want to we haven't seen our current assessor for 2 years. Like he maybe comes in once. I haven't seen him for a while, like maybe once a year. So I'd like the new one to have office hours at least once a week for a couple hours. Because people do ask like for appeal processes and stuff like that. So that would be one of the stipulations I would put in there. But if you want to be a part of the interview process, it will be probably I was looking to do like July 15th and 16th area. for interviews, like right after I get back from my trip. I will be able to, we'll do the interviews, and then the following week, we'll appoint that person to the job. 'Cause I need them pretty quickly because tax bills are gonna be going out, and I need them to update. There's only been 3 homes sold, since the assessor left, so those 3 gotta be put in the system with the deeds. It's not that big of a deal, it's not a heavy lift, so they could do that in like a half an hour, so.
I'm on first now. I'd like to be a part of that.
Yeah, so it shouldn't be a basic thing, but that's what it'll be, but the advertisement's out there, just letting you guys know, it's gonna move forward. So if you have any questions, let me know, I think go with that.
And just for clarification, who's on the personnel committee, please?
I'm gonna have that,
Yeah, the thing right.
we had a typo, I made some, changes in our committees, and unfortunately, Todd had put everybody in it. Everybody was in it, and I'll be speaking to that, at a different time.
Okay.
But I know he was in personnel, I didn't know if he.
I was on the last
John
one.
is definitely in it, and Stacy, I think you were in it, but I have to,
But when you have the definites, you can just.
yeah, I have my master copy, I didn't bring it. So I think I
I just
have
wanted to
those,
make sure.
but I'll clarify that.
Yeah, so I just wanted to give you a heads up on that, but I'll probably call them like next week with the thing gets live, and then if we get any more, I'll just let them know. But right now, we have 3 already that sent in, 2 people that that worked with Jim in other towns and stuff like that, they're certified assessors, and 1 person that watched this on YouTube last meeting and knew that the assessor job open. So there's 3 available. So, right now, but if we get more from the advertisement, I'll let you know. The next item up for thing is, Borough Homes rental payments. I believe I gave everybody, a booklet from, Christine Houchin. She gave this booklet, it looks like this seller's, thing. She went and had a real estate agent go look at the 2 properties we're looking to sell. And they have the listings of what we should start out the listings with. Obviously, we have to do a thing called a public auction when it comes to selling these homes. I don't think there's any way around that, but we could use this, marketing firm / real estate agent, to market the public auction a little bit, and try to get some people out here to bid on the properties and stuff like that. Maybe if one of her clients buys it, we can do something with a percentage rate on that regard for closing. But as of right now, the 2 homes that we're looking at were the Horton House and a house on New Jersey Road. It was 207 New Jersey Road and 215 Horton. One's a 3-bedroom, the other one's a 2-bedroom. The estimated recommendation for the 207 with move-in ready was listed at 189. I say we start the bidding, if we want to do public auction, at least 190, 195, if not 200. And then the recommended listing for the 215 Horton is 85,000 because it needs a full rehab. I don't know how we would be able to put a stipulation in there for a non-rental, because that's most likely going to be someone that you're very rarely going to find somebody that's going to buy the house to renovate it and live there. So I think that would be more of a developer coming in and trying to buy that, or a flipper. So, and then there's one other house that I don't have quotes on that we can look to sell after we sell these, but we don't have to talk about that tonight. But I do recommend that we have to sell these homes to replenish some of our surplus that we need for next year. If we start the process now, we can get this done by the end of the summer. Solicitor, you want to explain anything about the public auction, how that would work for everybody?
Yeah. One thing, it's my understanding, the tax assessor has to come up with a certified market value of each unit before you move forward. So,
Some of the reason we get, that's the tax assessor application. Because they have to be involved.
Could you explain the process of the public auction? Or do you?
Yeah,
I know
so
it's probably rare, but.
it's been a few years since I've had this, but it's my understanding that tax assessor would establish a market value, which you cannot go below. And then depending upon if that property is going to be sold to an adjoining neighbor, which is not the case here, there would just be a public auction. And then if the property does not sell within, I believe, 2 auctions, you would have the right to establish a value yourself.
Of what I was gonna say, there's a recommendation coming from a realtor, which we don't really, I don't agree with that.
Right,
Take 85,000.
the minimum price would be what the assessor establishes, you can
Okay.
go above that.
With the, we can go above it.
You just can't go below.
That's absolutely
That's not
correct.
correct.
That's correct.
Oh.
You can go above, you can't go below.
All right.
Can't go below what the assessor recommends.
Assessor established.
Okay.
What is that auction? Like, that's like an in-person auction, that's something that's online,
They'll be right here in front of you. You can do it, like, you can do a silent auction, which is where they hand you a bid based on the lowest price of what the assessor says. I've done 2 of them. You can come in here, but they were held in a council meeting. And we hold the auction. So if they vote on they had the price, and that day they have to have 10% or 15%. They have to give me a check of 10% right then and there. If they win the bid, they have to give me a check for that amount to get this, and then we start the closing process.
and they're silent or they're not?
You can do either one, but the
You
public
can-
auction, but I would recommend having a bidding out loud. So if somebody bids low, you have somebody that can bid above that.
We essentially have complete control of the entire process.
Yeah.
Including, I think there should be some due diligence title work, to make sure that there's not an easement.
Yeah,
We-
already done.
Okay.
I got 2 titles on both. I got titles on both of them.
You could forward those to me, Ryan.
And I want to talk to you after about a certain pilot program that Ryan and I were talking about, which has some specific questions, but I don't think it'd be, you're not gonna know them here, so you're probably gonna have to research a little bit, kind of outside the box, so.
We talked about pilots and stuff like that, redevelopment zone, but it's not a redevelopment zone type thing. But I do recommend the authorization to continue on to try to sell, so I can at least, so the resolution can be provided at the July meeting to authorize the public auction. That's the goal here. We don't have an assessor yet, so I don't have answers, but the authorized the public auction at least gives us the option to sell these 2 properties as is, or we're going to fix them up or put so many rentals in there now. So I kind of need guidance where you want to go.
Are both funds vacant?
Both of them are vacant at this time.
That makes sense.
That's why we're starting with these 2 first.
And right, 215 is not like rentable in the condition that it's in now.
No.
The other one would be.
The other one is, yeah. The other one's in good shape. It needs some like cosmetic work, like new rug and a couple of like closet doors, a little bit broken, but and holes and like, picture frame holes in the walls and stuff like that. But if we can go in there and clean it and put a new rug in before, but it just be relevant if we're gonna sell it anyway. But we can make it cleaner once we think we can get market price better up. But it's in good shape.
Could we restrict, it's not restrict, but have conditions, like you've got to live in the house for 5 years before you can sell?
Yes.
So we can go to an open bidding process, and you buy the house, you gotta be in that house for 4 or 5 years, 3 years, whatever. We have control of that.
Do you have to live there or they own it? Could you do both?
I believe you could do both, right? I know that's a subject that's come up before. I'll do research with the workshop meeting.
Well, we have a community, we don't want a community of renters,
Well, they're renting now, but I'm just saying, like, we control who the renter is at this point.
So, not really. Not really.
Do we have high standards on our renters? Like they have a certain criteria of hitting the NTN database. If it doesn't hit 80, we never rent it to anybody below. So
No,
it's like,
yeah, you have a yearly.
it's very hard to get that.
You have a yearly, you don't know who you're gonna have from year to year,
Correct.
basically. We want somebody to come into the community, they live across the street, there's a school, there's our fire department, here's this, that's what we want here. Okay, so that's.
So, but it'll be okay. So we'll work on something for the work session, have more details on how to approach this and moving forward.
And Christina, I don't know, for the, she had some suggestions regarding like a personnel aspect of the, what you call it, so I don't know if that's something to
What's
discuss. Personnel aspect of, regarding the borough homes. I have a
The
question.
maintenance.
Yeah,
That's the next step.
oh, okay.
I have that right here.
Yeah, oh, gotcha.
That's step 2 of this part of it.
Okay,
So she went out, right now we have a handyman, borough handyman that we hired. it costs about $30-something thousand a year just for the handyman salary and wage line, right? So they're 24 hours a week and all that stuff. But there's a property maintenance company. She got 2 quotes for a property maintenance company that, from 2 different companies that I said maybe we should start utilizing because there might not be as much work and we can probably keep on track of these houses better. And there's a property maintenance company that are dedicated to these sites. We asked for a quote for up to 15 routine maintenance service calls per month. Each service calls includes up to 2 hours of labor, up to 25 of basic materials like caulk, toilets, flappers, outlet covers, covered devices included standard plumbing, minor electrical, carpenter, drywall repair, HVAC filter replacement, and other general maintenance items mutually agreed upon. Because we never really, like a lot of these homes, they don't change their filter for the HVAC. And we've gone in there and like a lot of times our HVAC is really damaged, like, you know, it overfreezes the A coil and like, you know, because they don't clean the filter, they don't know any better. So these companies go in and do this for you. And then they give you 15 maintenance calls a week a month. And there's 1,800 a month, which basically comes to $22,000 a year, 2160 for a year, so 21,600. And so that's a pretty good price. That's cheaper than what we're paying the other guy. Yeah, obviously we're gonna have to overrun and stuff, but we still have a $10,000 wiggle room to do it because right now he goes out there. And if they can't fix the plumbing, we gotta call a plumber, and the plumber ends up being like a couple $1,000. Now, it's not saying it's gonna happen, but they might have somebody there to be able to fix that problem quickly and not have to make that service call.
So this will be
They're a full
replacing,
maintenance, they're a full maintenance.
So a full maintenance company.
this is replacing the handyman?
It would, yeah, you would have to replace the handyman.
Okay, like he wouldn't be here anymore.
He wouldn't be here anymore. And I've already cut them down to 2 days a week to save money to hire Christine. So it's just like, so he's only here 2 days a week anyway. So it doesn't.
It sounds like a good idea. The only thought I had on this, which I would do if I was this company, is that I would get you in low, but then I would probably beat you over the head every time that you needed a plumber. Do we
Well,
know
I mean-
anybody else that's using these guys?
She used them in all of her, like in a lot of her, she knows these companies from her job that she has to deal with. She has to call them for whatever HUD place she has to call. They have these different types of companies. That's where she got the quote. The other one was $2,100 a month.
They're both.
She does have references too.
Yeah, all right, cool. I would say I would call, because I would imagine it would almost be like, YouTube with the ads, where it's like, you can watch if you're gonna be a real bare minimum, but then we're gonna constantly beat you up on charges. I would almost think that, but maybe we'll check references, but it seems like a great idea. And
Well,
I
it's
think
not something we have to make a
ultimately
decision tonight. It was just something that I want to
Yeah. I'd rather move forward.
cross-reference maybe at the beginning of the year to start off fresh.
What do you guys think?
The handyman's contract, I'm assuming, is like a yearly thing.
It's yearly thing. You appoint them for a year.
When's that expire? In
At the end of this
January?
year. It's reorg. Reorg, you appoint them and then you have to.
So this
reappoint
would be
them.
for reorg.
Yes.
Okay.
This is more something like to get, like, I mean, the price might change, but I think it's something, I never thought it would be this cheaper than what we're paying now.
Yes.
But it is, and it's no waste of time, because there's times where there's no service calls.
For
So they're just running to Home Depot to pick up a couple things. And they fix something in here where we could have Public Works come in and fix something in
They
here.
might have it.
When there's something, an overrun too, if they didn't do, if we didn't need that much maintenance, how did that work out? There was
Say that
something
again,
in
sorry.
there, I read, or
Oh, the hours carry over.
carry over, right?
Yeah, the hours carry over. If you don't use the 15 service calls, 2 hours or 30 hours a month, you can carry over that time, and they will refund you the money at the end of the year if you wanted that or
Oh, that's
carry it
pretty
over.
good.
Is there a
I
max?
like that
idea.
idea.
Do you max out?
There's no max.
Does
out.
the carryover, you don't max?
They don't max out now.
Wow.
So.
Plus, they're not
Pretty cool.
just handy, these,
That's what they do.
it's a great thing that we did.
Yeah, that's smart.
But this is really,
Because it's basically for the service calls, like, putting in a tile rack that fell or,
Yeah.
tile rack, like, those are things that the handyman does. But they would do all the things, same thing with like, one of the things that our guy can do is fix the soffit. Like, that had damage with birds getting into the top part of things, like,
These guys.
these guys can do these type of service calls. They have different types with
themselves.
different skills.
Yeah.
To be able to come out and fix these problems.
They just might have more accessibility related to certain
Equipment,
tools.
yeah, tools.
And plus I'm sure they buy in bulk.
It's a team rather than one person, so.
And the fact that they're doing things routinely to maintenance the home is, more for prevention. So that like if the filter goes, it doesn't make things worse
Okay.
down the line. That makes sense, like replacing a whole,
Okay, all right.
whatever you put a filter in. You have to help me out
Hey, you
with
gotta
those certain
learn
things,
that.
HVAC
You do
stuff.
everything.
Yes. So it's, I don't know about that, but we can talk about that another time. But, yeah, basically prevention and just helping things with upkeep and whatnot, so that things don't become completely destroyed and have to replace the whole entire unit versus upkeep, so.
And it also gives more control to Christine to have control over the whole Borough Homes situation at this point, like, you know what I mean,
Yeah.
getting more control over
Plus
it.
they do thousands of,
Not a bad thing.
they, you know, they're constantly busy, so they give us a good break, you know. They do other, we're not their own, or their only.
Yeah, they have other business, they have other companies that go out and do that, so their companies for this. So,
It's a great idea.
I just wanted you to be aware of that, and the prices are pretty good. I mean, obviously, we'll, look and see if we can start this later in the year, or I'll talk to the, like, if you guys wanna move forward with it before the end of the year, I can always talk to the person, but you might wanna have to bring them in,
Could we get information on that, like, right, like the,
Okay.
whatever they're offering now, yeah?
You want the references, you mean?
No, I, just like what they do. If we can just get a copy of it.
Oh, you want the copy of these things, yeah. Let's make copies of it after me, I'll give you a copy. That'd be good. So, all right, that's all I had for the Borough Homes. Anybody else have anything else on that? Okay. We have open to council.
Trish.
No, I don't really have much. Don't forget fireworks are the 28th and the fun starts at 6. That's it.
That's coming up.
Yeah, a couple weeks.
It's coming up.
Next weekend. It's coming up very quick. Yes.
Geez.
The weekend next.
2 weeks.
Oh,
Next
right,
week's the 21st. Don't scare me like that.
Right. I'm away and then
Rush my
next
summer.
weekend, but still, yeah. And Ryan, I think our next work session is Wednesday, July 2nd. It says July 3rd, which would be a Thursday, right? So it is the Wednesday.
It's a Wednesday.
It was the 2nd.
Yeah. July 2nd. That is a clerical error.
Trish, anything else, food trucks, that's all, everything's.
Should be all taken care of.
There you go.
Yeah.
Okay, very good, that's right around the corner.
Right around the corner. Should be
Stacy,
a fun night.
yeah, band, right, too, also,
Yes.
you got a band,
Not much. There are some, I guess, some maintenance things that have to go on in, some of the homes. And, I did get that listing updated. I think you did. Too. So that will be stuff to go through. And then, other than that, everything seems to be, so far so good. Shay sent me a correspondence, not a correspondence, but a kudos. Once I find it, my apologies. Accommodations, an official commendation for distinguished unit citation. And when you share it, this is kind of long. And I don't have my glasses on either, so I'm pretty bad at this.
Do you want mine?
Yeah.
Will these help you?
No, it's okay. Sergeant Raymond McKinney, Jr., Brooklawn Police Department, on June 1st, 2004, as families were enjoying and awaiting the drone light show at an annual Gloucester Township event. Officers working security at the event noticed an influx of juveniles and young adults being dropped off at the event. Crowds of the young people began to congregate in large groups. The crowd was estimated to be approximately 500 people. At approximately 8:40, large groups began fighting each other and running recklessly through the crowd. Officers quickly responded and made 2 arrests for disorderly conduct. The crowd continued to remain hostile and disorderly, and the incident commander called for additional officers for support and requested mutual aid for surrounding Camden County police agencies. Due to the volatility of the situation, the drone show was started early immediately upon conclusion of the drone show, officers began dispersing the crowd. Large crowds moved to the Marketplace Shopping Center located across the streets. Again, multiple fights broke out amongst the juveniles and young adults. Additional requests for mutual aid was made, as well as countywide EMS and task forces. Gloucester Township special response team was responded to provide support. 8 fights continued to break out over the course of that time. I'm sorry, I'm paraphrasing. It was determined that most of the groups of juveniles had been dropped off. Many of the investigators were wearing dark clothes. Basically, like, I'm sorry, I'm going through all of it, but this was it was just a professional manner for how things were handled, and Sergeant Ray McKinney was included in that. So, did I read that right? I don't know if I read all of it right. So my apologies on that. So official commendation for distinguishing execution. So he wanted me to read that for here. So.
And when did that happen?
This was last year. Remember during
Oh,
Gloucester
okay.
Township, during the.
I do.
So, you know, our guys are everywhere, so to speak. So thank you to them and for keeping our community and communities in Gloucester Township and other areas safe and sound. So we appreciate that.
Thank you, sir.
Absolutely. Bruce?
Just have a couple of things, Jeff and I were talking. It looks like we're going to try to have that flea market at the church on the 2nd Saturday of every month until November, the 2nd Saturday in November. Okay, Jeff has spoken to several people about it already. Waiting for Todd to come back from vacation and publicize it. And then another thing, and Ray McKinney's here, that I don't know if I mentioned you, but I talked to Ryan today about, I think it's time that we get John, what's his name, or engineer involved, and we have to legitimize where the right-of-way line is on Murray Road. Because at the last baseball game, the guy went crazy, was trying to get every car towed. Half of them were on the street on public parking, but because he has the lines there, and I think it's time that we get Bryson, John to come out. And I don't care, as long as it's up by then, we're going to keep the cops out of a lot of stupid things. They tried to get a school bus towed there, and so I just think that, you should ask Bryson if he would come give us the right-of-way line. That's all we need is right-of-way. We don't need it on the church side, but we do need it on the adult bookstore side, because he's creating a lot of problems when something goes on over there. So it's up to you to talk to Bryson about him and I.
So the bookstore is complaining.
Oh, yeah, but he's constantly hiring a tow truck guy and disrupting everything. And the other, and I understand some people call about parking. Well, it was crazy out there. There was you were at the game when so many people were there. So, but that is something I think the council has to look at. Then keep the police out of the middle of something that's stupid. Because this guy's saying that's his property. Matter of fact, he tried to have, he wanted cars towed on the church side. And I was talking to him, now you understand, that's municipal. This is not the right-of-way line for him. So,
There's another business there too, that's next to him, is that warehouse.
Well, it used to be the Glassman.
Yeah.
Yeah, he owns that apparently, this guy, okay, but he's a fanatic on, if you touch that line, he wants your car towed, and I really don't believe that line is an official line. He had it lined out
Is there an
himself.
actual line?
Yeah, that he had put
An
in.
actual line?
Yeah, and I really don't believe that's the right way.
Road, right? It's a paper road?
The paper road never was abandoned.
No, it's not vacated, so it is a
No,
road.
yeah, take a look.
There's a right of way, there's a right of way there. It's just we gotta get the right of way. You can take the survey we have on the church property, go from that right of way line and measure it out. You can do that yourself, but you can get the engineer to do that. But we have an actual survey for the church, so you know where the right of way line is. If they have the distance on it, you just gotta measure it out.
But you don't know where the right of way line, if you don't find the property markers.
Well,
And
they'll
then you
the
have to
property
extend the
markers.
line down, then you could pull off of that, but I think if you really want it done officially, have Bryson put PK nails, it's nails using or asphalt, like along there, and then get it straight by somebody, say, look, this is the official right-of-way line.
Okay.
You know, some of the parking's on the right of way, they have to.
Well, I mean, but I don't know if Ray was responded to that last game, it was packed, and they were going crazy.
Anything else?
No, I guess that's it. We're just waiting for the net to go up, but Rounding Road.
You know when?
He said 2 weeks ago, he said within 2 weeks, so I'm gonna give it another 2 weeks basically.
I had a conversation with Mike, I'll probably speak of it about, so it looks like we're going to put up the net around it.
Right, we talked about it briefly, you and I.
Okay. So, Mike, we, need everything. And when I say everything, we have a box, 700 pounds. We're gonna have to go out there, me and Bruce talked about it, we can lay it out, somehow and get it coordinated, so all we gotta do is hang it up. You need clips and, ties down on the fence. Not rocket science. Somebody up in the truck and.
So as far as coordinating, the only thing one of these could send me an email, I mean, we're good. We'll stretch the net out, we'll pull measurements, we'll go around, we'll clip it, we'll hang it.
What I'm telling you is we need the accessories to do that. That's.
Yeah, we'll get,
Okay.
so
I don't know how many you need,
you want to be a part of it or we can just do it?
Well,
We can be.
yeah,
out
we
there.
want to be a part of it.
Okay,
We definitely
so
want to be
you
a part of
guys get together, let me know, even if it's a weekend thing, I don't care. We just have to make sure that I can adjust the schedule to meet everybody's.
And you understand the like, I guess it's like little hooks, we're gonna it's almost like key.
They're D-rings, they're stainless steel
Okay,
D-rings.
yeah,
We
okay,
have hundreds of
okay, because we have, I think, 156 feet, so,
them. You tell me you want them every foot. I don't know if there's a official recommendation.
I'd say probably every 5 feet would be fine, because each pole's supposed to be 25 feet apart, so. Okay,
Yeah,
So
we're
there's
down.
no, so there's no.
So no, yeah,
Maybe
I'll do every
3
3 feet. It don't matter to me. You just coordinate between you guys, send me an email and we'll get things lined up to where I can get guys on the field, we can pull measurements, get stretch and cut. 'Cause I built the one over on the Legion field. It's not hard to do. We just need all
No,
the.
it's coordinated. I mean, you got a big pile of.
Yeah.
Get that laid out.
yeah, you
ahead of
have to
time.
get that laid out,
Exactly.
stretched out and everything.
1, 2, 3.
Not a problem. You guys just let me know when you would like to do it.
Well, soon, we need to get it as soon as we can here.
But if you get those.
I'll have everything ready. You just let me know.
And whatever ties you need to the fence, that's all,
When does the Legion start?
today.
Get playing today?
Well, they were supposed to, but it got rained out,
Okay.
that was the first day.
All right, so things are heating up over there, so. Yeah, we gotta look at that, Bruce, and we'll talk about that, getting that going, at least on that playground area. Okay, that it, Bruce?
Well, I want to meet with the committee on the ball fields to go over something I talked to Ryan a little bit about today. So,
I know we have executive, we could have, right, we have executive. I don't know if we do have executive. So if there's any other discussion.
okay, we can bring it up then, okay.
John,
So Trish and I worked on the community center, some notes that we have of what we're working on, just, want to get people's feedback on this. So, Ryan's working on the insurance there, just has to pass through, our contract has to be able to pass through the insurance company to make sure we're good. Current workflow is not great. It's a little, it's kind of like who's ever doing it, kind of lock it down, just kind of vintage Brooklawn there. We're gonna make that better. The idea here is that you would reserve online like an open table thing. So we do have a website company. We do have people here that will do the basic website stuff. We have high level support of the website. So the contact that we've been working through is looking into it. He doesn't do it himself, but so there's some other towns that do it, they work with, so we're gonna work through that. That would kind of funnel into like a calendar type of a thing. So ideally, if you want to reserve the community center, you would reserve it online, and then it would lock your time, it would black out the date, so on and so forth. So it's, real clean, everybody knows what's going on. The rekey process, one of our biggest concerns was, it's had the same knob since, it was built. So ideally to have keys running around is tough because then you can copy them. So a vendor that I use in my private life, and I know that we use here, the school uses it, JC McGee, they're great. They have access to everything. They're right down the street, like small business. So they have a key fob system that's very good. You get licenses where you can use your phone. There'd be like 5 of those included. There is the card itself, like the fobs, where you'd be able to use that. Those would tab in. Now this is a software that's not like a yearly fee. This is a one and done. The only additional fees would be if you want to make more cards if they get lost or whatever. So you could use the cards, you can give them out. If let's say we have people that use them once a week on a Friday, we could give them their card. It would only allow them to access it on Fridays. Every time that they use their card, it would send, kind of signal back to a track computer to install here, which is also cloud-based, so we don't have to worry about it. And it says who badged in. So if there's ever an issue, we're good to go. There's already Wi-Fi in there, so that can already send out. So it's really sharp. The price came in at under 6,500. It was like 64 and change. They've done this in the past. I'm sure they know how to get it under, so we don't have to go through the whole thing. Obviously, would be some work into getting keys in the hands of people that need it and things like that. We like the idea. We'd like to move forward with that. Only tough thing is I'll be away for a few weeks. Ryan too, so I think it would be cool if we could maybe roll this out in the next month or so, if you guys are interested. And then we would coordinate getting the keys of everybody that we know. We reach out to them in advance and say, hey, keys are going away. It's Bob. We could give, say, like, Mike, Ryan, you access to the phone thing to where you always have it like on your person. I think it would be good. Definitely increase safety there. And then, let's say we have events, here's a key. It turns into a pumpkin at midnight. You're basically good for the time being, and now they don't have a key forever. So, there's real safety in there. So we like that idea. What's everyone's thoughts on that?
Also, 2 doors are included.
Yes.
So we're gonna put one on the closet door as well. 'Cause that's a big one too.
People could get in
Track.
and then not have closet access.
Right.
If you wanted.
So we're gonna isolate that closet area.
It'll be its own thing.
There's only so many in there anyway.
Exactly.
And I know,
So if you had 5 people renting it, you could give closet access to 3 of them.
But see, we go there and Harry and I will go there on a Monday and then on Thursday, it's another mountain of stuff in that closet. So
Yeah.
it definitely will be nice to be able to control who goes in there for one and then also be able to see who is coming.
I know that's Panic Hardware on the front door, and you got Panic Hardware on one other door, probably the kitchen. Is that where you're talking? Yeah, second, oh, no, you're.
Yeah, the second half would be a closet,
Closet.
right?
The
And
closet
they are
also
gonna
has a
rekey.
server in there and stuff too.
Yeah.
We're gonna rekey all the
We're
other
also
doors.
gonna rekey it though.
Yeah,
the
Yeah,
manual.
so that-
It's
that's
all
old
included in
Panic.
this price.
That's old Panic, new stuff they have with electronics in it, that would probably, somehow you do the.
And with the program they put on the computer, let's say someone, kind of went in there, they got locked out, you could open it remotely.
I got
That's a
you.
very nice feature. I
Yeah.
think.
Quick question, could we incorporate to?
We already work with 2 different vendors.
What?
2 different systems that they use.
Oh,
we're talking about.
Yeah.
So we
We
can't-
spoke through that now.
Okay, we got.
Yeah, you're
We're
already down past that now. We thought that a good idea. Because ideally, it would be nice if the whole town ran on a vendor, but yeah, I think we're past that. But it's definitely, I think safety wise, I think, controllability wise, I think accountability wise, I think all that, it really steps up. What's nice is it's a one-time fee aside from the cards. After we go through so many cards, we have to buy another pack, but a lot are included.
So they're the type you give the card out and then at midnight they're
It
done.
actually,
It
it
depends,
looks,
whatever you give them.
Disposable card.
Well, no,
We prefer to get it back.
we will. It's gonna be just like this.
And
Yeah.
plus you're gonna have,
Key deposit.
you're gonna have, yeah, deposit.
Yes,
Okay.
100%.
So we'll talk about that next.
Everybody that uses the community center, all the regular groups, they're gonna be made to put, key deposit down as well.
So once the contract's approved on that, we would say, okay, here's your key deposit, here's your non-refundable deposit, it goes towards all this stuff. And then if you guys like that idea, what we went with was pricing. So I do have a contract from the fire department. You know, seen through that, John doesn't really write much down. But we have a good copy of that. So we had basically 3 pricing tiers, right? So PTA, free at all times. That's what we were thinking about for PTA. It's a school thing. It's our own. It's good. I'm gonna go through the other 2, and then the last one we should talk about. 3, you know, 300 pricing for all residents. That includes cleaning, you know, the rental, all that. 600 for non-residents. And now these are 4 to 6 hour blocks. It includes all the access of what they have. They would be responsible, which we'll put the contract for taking their own trash out, this and this. So we're not sending people in to do the whole thing. We'll still clean it, but basically they sweep it, they mop it, like, you know, they do the whole thing. It's included in there. We could have a bit of a markup if we want to have, here's the deal. If you want us to clean it, we just get the cleaning company cost to do it. They still have to take out trash. They still have to wipe down. They still have to do that kind of stuff. We would leave cleaning supplies in there. What the fire department does is trash bags and cleaning supplies and a mop and a broom. We could do the same. And then we could always double check for the next day with that, obviously. So 300, 600 PTA free. $150, no matter what, non-refundable deposit. Here was the maybe, which, in my opinion, be cool if we did this until it got abused. Maybe if it does, would be 1 free event per year, just a cleaning fee, for all people that get a Brooklawn W-2.
If they're the ones that rent it out, or the person that's like, they have their cousin running it out and they're gonna be there.
If they
That's what I'm
choose
saying,
to
that's
pull it
gonna
out,
be, that's gonna be abuse.
yes, and then in which case, we take it back, and then forever it's that like, well, this person got it, take it away. Yeah. We could say no.
Yeah, you can say no.
I liked it, she
That's
wasn't
nice.
very.
600 is very cheap for any resident.
Yeah.
I mean,
For
I'm good with it.
for use.
Yeah.
Is it comparable?
What about
I
groups,
know.
what about groups,
Yes,
like the groups that have it every week, they're not gonna pay you $100.
No.
no,
they're
these are
gonna remain-
events, we'll work out their pricing
They're
with
gonna
what they have.
remain the same. Most of them are seniors, and let's face it, they're not always gonna be using it.
Yeah.
So.
The pricing for the key thing, you can do that now. I mean,
Yeah.
it's under the
We're good
code
with it.
threshold.
If you
Under the
guys are
code
good with it.
threshold, you don't need permission for it.
Yeah,
It's not coming out of capital, it's coming out of the budget, so you can, that's day-to-day operation stuff, so to fix the building, you can authorize them to go ahead and do that.
so we want to coordinate that as a team here, and I'd say it'd probably be better when I'm back, just we can do it, because it's gonna be some work on your team, it's gonna be some work on us. It's gonna be some coordinating with all these groups to make sure, hey, this is happening. So what we'll probably do is, like over the next couple of weeks, if you guys are cool to say, hey, this change is coming as of, say, August 1st, be prepared for this. If they don't read emails, we call them, do all that kind of stuff so they're prepared. Please report to the, the borough by this date to pick up your card. It gives us the time to give them their access, the days they can make it, their credentials in the system, the hardware gets set up, all that kind of stuff gets set up. So we'll coordinate all that so it's not a rush and then we're screwed at the end. So we'll take care of that. But we like the idea. We think it's worthwhile.
Definitely.
And there's some other events, one event a year, I think the police use the facility, that's not gonna be charged. And then, the
Mike, what
gym,
about the water?
So New Jersey Water Association.
Yeah.
We are one of 2 locations in all of New Jersey.
Right.
that
You should-
provide,
You guys are exempt also,
yeah, courses and
of
everything.
course.
Yeah.
Can we just get the dates for that so that we can
Those
put
dates
them
are-
on?
So they constantly get renewed. I notify,
Good.
Todd every
Yeah,
time,
once-
well in advance.
Okay. all right,
With this type of thing
perfect.
that we're rolling
Okay.
out, basically, we would open table this, it would black it out, and they came.
And this is during the day only.
Yeah, it's
So
good.
It's never, it's.
Right, and
in
that
all
shouldn't
my
affect
years of-
anything.
Yeah,
I
we'll
mean,
be all right.
Yeah, in all my years of scheduling this, there's never been 0 conflict whatsoever.
And then once we
That's
get there
fine.
too, like, we'll start to kind of advertise this
I
a little
forgot
bit.
about
I mean, if we're allowed to spend a little advertising, I think it'd be worthwhile to try to get this kind of humming a little bit, and then the money we make, we could put back into, to kind of make it a bit of, a bit more of a destination.
You do still have to
Chandeliers,
clean
things
up.
like that, yeah. It'll look
Still.
clean.
John, you
What
said
got
a 4 to 6 hour block, is that what it is?
Yeah, that's what most people do. All
You
Ocean
could
City
get
does
2 a
that.
day. You could
If somebody wanted earlier, it's like it would still be the same 300 hours. Like, hey, I'm gonna be there for an hour, but still 300.
Yep, exactly. Keep it clean, and then basically it's, less things to slip up on, less pricing to think about, not an in-season, not an out-of-season pricing, like the same thing like all year. Fair, transparent, that's what I'm thinking. And basically you have it from this time, and it's like, we could, kind of say, okay, we have a 4-hour event, then you got a little bit of time to clean up. We kind of work through that. That's kind of my thought.
I think it's a great idea. I say, let's go.
Cool. Ryan, let me know when you get the contract on that, and then we'll be able to, kind of put all this in. And the website guy, I think I had to leave, 5 or 6 voicemails for him, but he did get back to us. So once he has the idea of how we'll roll that out, then we'll roll that out. That's one thing that I feel like is kind of a mandatory. I think that'd be real clean. We want less human hands on it. Less spiral notebooks or marble notebooks. And then we'll do it well. But that's our last little piece here, I think, and then we'll let it ride.
Good.
Thanks for that.
I think I said most of what I had to say. I just wanted to ask about, did we do the water shutoffs that we?
Yes,
So we're gonna
yeah, it's
do
already in
that, how'd that
process.
work out?
Already in process, June 24th, we're shutting off?
Yeah.
Yeah,
They'll
so
give me
a lot of people, I had 2 people come today and pay it all off. So, I mean, it's coming along. I think there were 34 on the list. We're down to like 20 something now.
So we've given them notice or?
Oh, yeah,
They've all
like a
been
14-day notice.
Okay.
So, but there's some people might come in with, try to get payment plans to pay half to now or half, but it has to be under a certain threshold or we're not taking the pay. Like, they gotta put a significant amount down. So.
Thank you. That's all I asked.
Mike, you got anything?
Good to go, just rolling forward with projects, dealing with, things that I've talked about with, all mayor councils with the different things that we have going on. Grants, normal everyday stuff. We're just, whatever needs to be done, shoot me an email, we'll get it finished. I know that we got the celebration coming up. If there's anything that you could foresee that you might need from my department, besides the usual cones
He
and
was
this
giving
and
me
that,
that.
so. But, no, everything's good. We'll coordinate, get that net up. I got a couple meetings coming up with some things that we're gonna be doing in the water plant, some future upgrades, everything. Just looking forward to, just keep expanding, so.
I do have a question for you. Anything from PSC&G?
They will be here, it's like within 20 days or something like that to drop a line down, and then we'll start going. Also, the Lake County Community Center schedule will get fixed as well,
Yes.
so I'm on it. I'm all over it.
We have a friend in
Thank you.
PSC.
We got a lot of things going
I
on
know,
with
I
a lot
know.
of things.
All right,
so,
thank you.
yeah.
Then.
I'm sorry, I had 2 thank yous, obviously for Seamus, I never got to say about, obviously, obviously, I wasn't able to make the 10 o'clock thing or whatever, but obviously for all his years of service, obviously appreciate that, and I want to thank you too for your amazing, handouts of cereal bars and stuff down by the river. You guys did a fabulous job. I know there's a lot of kayakers that came through, so you guys were like really efficient at what you did, so I appreciate you too. Yeah.
Jeffrey.
Real quick, town yard sale, I think was pretty well, the weather was a little obstacle also, but I think had a nice little turnout. Had a lot of people throughout the town, so forth. Had some people from other towns coming through, and I talked to them and so forth. Belmark, welcome. So,
You sold a bike, didn't you?
yes, they did. And,
Pick anything up?
no, no, the wife did not. And I want to thank Mr. Ostro because there was a lot of excess stuff after the yard sale that was picked up and so forth. And I know social media, thank you also. I do want to bring that attention because you guys did a phenomenal job getting that extra merchandise off the curb.
Thank you.
Whatever didn't sell was trash for that. What happened?
All the time.
I think I did that to you guys a while back here. I did it on somebody else's yard, so you don't do that. That was years ago before I did
Well,
that.
it was real high-end stuff, so we knew it was your yard.
Size 9s.
Nobody's throwing away LeBron.
Thank you, Mr. Thank you.
Raymond.
I have one, Detective Nicholas, came to me, she wants to do, a resident came to her, he's in college, he has to do an internship. He's in, criminal justice, he wants to do an internship with us, that she would spearhead, not be out in harm's way, of course, in here, learning the job a little bit. And I was just bringing it to you guys. He has to do 135 hours. Of course, free, not pay or anything. And just, he would hang out here. And if that was okay with you guys.
I certainly have no problem with that. Anybody care?
Free for me.
If the, I tried to do it at some point, I think she would have to, just heads up, she probably knows this, but she would have to report back to the university that.
I have all the paperwork.
Oh, good,
Yeah.
cool. Yeah, there's a curriculum, the whole thing, but yeah, no, that's great.
You need a motion to authorize that?
Yeah.
You need a motion to authorize that, if somebody wants to put a motion.
I'll make the motion that, hire an intern from the police department.
Second?
She seconded.
Councilmember Clotworthy?
Yes.
Councilmember Darrow?
Yes.
Councilmember Holler?
Yes.
Councilmember McConnell?
Yes.
Councilmember Ostrom?
Yes.
Council President McAdams?
Yes.
Good to go, man.
Okay.
One more thing there. Sorry to interrupt you. We got a bike patrol starting. We ordered bikes,
Great.
got it going. The Ostrom's donated the bike to Brooklawn.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Nice.
Thank you, Mike.
Mongoose or?
It's all right. Some tags on the back.
Buffy.
Yeah.
He got out.
That'd be nice. You should have that.
Should have that.
My son was missing his bike when I walked out. Spider-Man bike.
No, you know, the bike patrol was always the thing when, you know, I was a kid, I've been in town my entire life, and, you know, I know that patrolmen, we always interact constantly on a daily basis, and hearing it's something that they want to bring back, you know, Stacy and I being a part of the community, so that it would be something nice to
That's great.
donate to them, so we can get something like that back up and running.
That's great.
And that would be really good down at the waterfront.
Yeah, we should have it in
Police
soon. We
around.
got everything figured out and just put the bike together for us.
The guy, okay, very good, very good. I have a couple of things. I do want to speak on that, thing for the chief. It was terrific. Every kid in school, he came out and his mouth was open. It was really a terrific thing. Seamus, you know, everybody was out there. And I don't think it was a total surprise, but he was shocked when he came out and saw the kids and everything like that. As you have noticed, we're having a bulkhead put up along Broadway. Michael and myself went out there for 3 hours trying to stop the project because the elevation, and you can, actually, did you see what happened last night during the rain? It came over the top of that.
Shocking.
Yeah. Well,
I didn't
So-
see that coming at all.
Anyway, there is a cap that's supposed to go on that. I think it'll help. I don't know, we had a long talk. We had actually brought the top people from the DEP,
Every engineer that was a part of that
And-
NDGO project.
which is an
was out
unheard of getting those high, white hats over here. And we spent time with them and they actually said that is what we're gonna do. There's nothing you can do it. There's no changing it. Ryan was ready to go on Facebook and blast them.
I'm still gonna go on Facebook and blast them.
You know, what they're doing is picture a tabletop, water is level, right? Not water, it's water,
Thank you.
okay? I don't like that water thing.
I hate it.
This isn't that. Tabletop, but anyway, yeah, John, you're a water guy. So to stop that flooding there, we have to come up, elevation, say 7 feet, right? The morning we went over there, they were setting the elevation. They told us the elevation is 5, what was it?
6.
5 something and then the cap.
Yeah.
And the tide that very morning, at 2:30 in the morning,
6.8.
was 6.9. So that's why it flooded, and it's why it flooded again. They dug a trench over there, filled up with water, flooded out Virtue, so we'll see who gets the,
And just to kind of add on to what you're saying, Mayor, if you don't mind, when we went and spoke with them, so apparently it was never their intention to completely stop the flooding, so to speak,
Just annoy the flooding, yeah.
to kind of slow it down because they're building a retention pond as well. So they're hoping that they can capture that in the drainage system and send it on its way somewhere else. And they said, listen, if it don't work, it's on them. They know it. So they're.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah,
We
they're not
had to
changing.
just, the head design.
Top man,
Top state stuff,
top
man.
man, yeah.
So anyway, that's really all I got to say about that. You'll see it's ongoing. They're actually gonna do the pond next to Great Bet. Same thing, all the way around to the train, the tracks. That's all getting that same bulkhead. I think it's ridiculous, but, I don't know what the timing is on that, but they're moving ahead pretty quick.
They're almost today, I believe they got to
They
the,
got to the
they
final.
got
end.
to the final
Yeah.
sheets. today. So they're done New Broadway. They're gonna do the other side, I believe, a little bit, and they're done the New Broadway section.
So you're saying that's gonna be concrete at the end, right?
Yeah, so it's like, it's set at 6 feet, they're at 5.5 now, and they're gonna add a 1 foot concrete curbing, basically,
It's
so
not
it'll
gonna
come
look
up
like
to
it
6 feet.
does.
No, it's gonna be encased in concrete.
Yeah, it'll be in case, it won't just be sheathing, just
Yeah.
randomly sticking out of the ground, it'll be.
Um, Yeah, I was gonna say something else on
The
that.
same people that did it, they're the ones that did down the other part. Isn't it?
Well, the fellow that's running it, Mike, I think his name was.
Correct.
When he was 17 years old, him and his father had a company that put the bulkhead in originally 20-some years ago. He's a young man.
On Persian, right?
On Persian.
Yeah.
Him and his father worked on that project there. That guy knows every inch. Well, he's the guy we went to, Mike went to him and said, what's the elevation here? And he said, well, he told us, it's not gonna work. It's not gonna work. So I started screaming and took my shoe off and banging on the guy's hood. Just kidding. Get the people here that we're stopping the job. I'm calling the state police, I'm calling the governor. And they just laughed at me, You can't put something up that isn't gonna work. So they flew him in, I don't know, the designer from China, a Japanese fellow from Japan came in and really explained everything to us, and that's what basically he's saying. We told him, well, dig the hole first, retention, right? Well, that's what we're supposed to do, but for some reason, I don't know whether the election time had anything to do with it, but it was that week, we got notice, and they're almost done, so. Enough of that. What I wanted to say, yeah, Ryan, you're gonna speak on a few other things I want to. We're gonna be asking our businesses, to donate we wanna get Harry a golf cart. So, he can ride around town and clean everything up. And, we, already, there was money already, not given to us. Actually, I wanted to speak on that too. We're gonna have a separate, account for donations, right?
We have a trust fund for donation.
Trust fund.
It's called dedicated by rider.
So I went to
We
one
go into it,
business.
We can pay out.
Yeah, I went to one business and, the owner donated $500 right on the spot, another fellow 200. We got like almost $1,000. Missy was pricing golf carts, $600, $700 used. So, and I haven't asked any business yet. I was gonna ask that fellow that was talking tonight, to donate some money. I thought that would have been a long time. But, so for a couple $1,000, we could get a golf cart for Harry, which is gonna increase his work, what he does much faster instead of walking and putting everything in, including the lawnmower in his little car, daily.
And I think Steve Prager already raised over
Steve
$1,000
Prager, yeah.
himself.
And well, actually, it's gonna.
For the golf cart?
He lives next to Harry, yeah, I'm pretty sure, yeah.
So, I'm gonna throw it out there in the big world wide web out there. Any donations for Harry would be very terrific.
That's great.
For Harry. That's it. I spoke on the bulkhead, the flea market. Let's see, Bryson. We actually had John Bryson down there, our engineer.
Yeah, if you would like to touch, I forgot to tell, if you want me to touch base, I have a meeting with, John tomorrow, I can touch base with him on what you're looking at. If you
You
would
and I
like to.
talked about it briefly.
Do you want me to field some of that?
Yeah,
Is that something that council wants to move forward with?
Well, if you don't, you're gonna have hell over
So,
there.
that's it, yeah, I'll have them get started on that.
Perfect. And that's about it, right?
Skip on, I forgot, that the mayor, Jeff and I met with GCL again for the second time.
Yeah.
So we did have that meeting. They were very gracious in, investigating and planning out, all the things that we asked for, engineering work, everything that we asked for. They've gone above and beyond trying to work with us. We were really impressed with what they kind of came back with in the second meeting and hoping that, moving forward, it's something that might work for us. So we're looking forward to, I think they said 4 to 6 weeks, we'll have a third meeting with them, but we're really excited. They're taking our concerns seriously. They're working with us and we're hoping it leads to somewhere positive at the end.
They went down the list, word for word, our main thing was possibility, where the other entrance used to come back behind the Legion. They came up with 3 concepts.
All the way up around.
Overhead, stuff going, for, and I think Monroe was, where I think was the best place to put a overhead, for the,
We're asking for pedestrian crossings and things like that. So it's something that they're looking
instead of using
into.
our,
It's a long way off, but.
yeah, but they actually addressed it, they have, and they said, it's actually feasible, it's actually feasible.
That's good.
One look like the Jetsons.
Yeah, and, yeah. Wait. But other than that, yes.
Our side.
Sorry, I cut you off.
Good.
You got something from here?
No, I just stepped on your thing, Aaron.
No,
I
you're
forgot
fine,
about
you're fine.
GCL, yeah.
All right, so, couple things. One is, sad to say, we talked to a couple of tree experts and, the tree in the middle of North Circle cannot be saved. All 3 of them have recommended it should come down immediately. It is a hazard. If there's branches that they got up there and some of the branches are cracking, that, anything can happen. And then every storm, or some branch comes down, some sort of thing. So, we're gonna be getting that tree to take down. Hopefully towards the end of the year, we'll get it grinded down. Wasn't too bad. I think Scott Bolden's gonna take care of it for us. Once we get it taken down, we can think about what we want to plant there. Plant a high tree to start out, bigger tree to start out, doesn't matter. We can start investigating that. Maybe the Shade Tree Commission can come up with something. I thought about, possibly donating the tree to somebody. We had Olivia that passed away. That'd be something. I know they're doing something at the waterfront. Doesn't matter. You can give her 5 trees for whatever we want to do. But it's just some ideas. So think about some ideas that we can donate, or something that we can have a tree dedicated to, or whatever we can put there. We'll come up with something, right? The second thing was, in a resolution you guys passed, I'll hold off on that in a second. The chief of police will be here at the next council meeting. I think the police officers are going to be giving him a shadow box. It's called, right? Shadow box. So I don't know if you guys want to give me any direction to maybe present him with something of a plaque. I definitely would do a proclamation for him, but maybe a plaque or some sort. But that's up to you guys, what you want me to do. If you have any ideas, I have old key to the city stuff, like that back in the 1970s. They used to give a key to the city to a lot of people.
That's cool.
It still had my grandfather's name on it, J.J. Tyrone, on some of them, but they never used them all. So we've given out, I think I have 4 left.
Are they big?
We've given out 2 so far. What's that?
Big?
They're like this big.
Good.
This big. Yeah, they're cool looking, but it's just, ceremonial thing, but it's, it's kind of cool. But whatever you guys want to come up with want to put in there, or anything you have suggestions, let's get something together so I can get it together for the next council meeting. And you guys are going to present the shadow box there, and I believe school board is going to present their.
No, the safety.
The safety.
Crossing guard.
The crossing guard can present something also to them. So just letting you guys know that will be happening at the next council meeting also. And the last thing was not the last thing. DEP Sage went live today for our to go for the money from the Solvay thing. So for the next 90 days, the application process is open. So I'll let you know the progress over the next couple of months on that, to see how much money we're gonna get and receive from the Solvay settlement. And then last thing with the raffle. So I got a list of prizes.
Let me explain. Like,
Yeah.
Like raffle, no, but I mean, this is more than.
Yeah, we're gonna-
This is not.
So the raffle process was to raise money originally. I think we had this idea to raise money for the 100-year, but we're gonna use it to raise money for the seniors, and that they can utilize for every quarter, maybe do an event at the community center to inform like the seniors, like we have senior groups over there, to inform them about local like scams that are happening. We can have like guest speakers at every single one, talk about how to sign up for Medicaid, Medicare, Social Security stuff, like when they're getting close to that age, like have these like programs to help out the seniors. Also have a fund or the committee put together to be able to give money to help pay for somebody's water if they're having some problems with paying their water bill, towards their rent or whatever, just to help the people in our community have money. And this could generate almost $20,000 in revenue if everything is sold that I want to sell towards this, and they could sustain this fund for a couple of years to try to before we have to do it again for them. So what it's going to do is it's going to be 100 prizes, because that's what we were going to do for 100-year, and it's going to have everything from a new MacBook Pro, iPad, an iPhone, Beats headphones, AirPods, campground stuff, a really big Yeti, 110 Yeti. They're like $1,000 or $500 to $1,000. So there's a lot of them coming in. The main grand prize will be a all expense paid trip, not the taxes, all expense paid trip for a cruise for two, including liquor package at a Royal Caribbean out of Bayonne. It will be like a $5,000 voucher, which covers pretty much any time on a peak season, then off peak season. So you can get to pick the cruise line of your choice at that point. So it's a $5,000 prize. The only stipulation on the grand prize is that nobody that works for the Borough of Brooklawn can win the cruise.
That's not McDonald's Monopoly.
Yeah, not that.
Oh,
Nobody can win the prize that works for the borough. That includes everybody else that sits up here, because you're technically, but you can win any other prize that's on the thing. So how it's going to work is there's 5 grand prizes. Obviously, the cruise being the one grand prize, and then you have the MacBook and all that stuff. So there's like 5 of them I listed, anything above $1,000. Those prizes are automatic for everybody that buys the $25 ticket, right? $25 ticket. The $25 ticket, if you win a prize that's not in the top 10 prizes, you're automatically get re-entered into the other prize, but you can't win the other 90. But you still get a chance to win the top 10 prizes. So, but if you win one of the 10, then you're out. But you automatically get re-entered into the top 10 prizes if you win anything from 90 to 100 prizes. The grand prize will be announced at the Fall Festival. It's the goal. Hopefully we'll do a couple prizes, like sometime in September, maybe the end of August, we can authorize prizes. Some of them will be like $100 gift cards to Target, ShopRite, places that are around here for stuff like that. There's also going to be a special prize that everybody that wins. There's a special prize. I'm not announcing it yet. It was just mentioned, kind of funny, but that's what it's going to be. But it's so it's going to be a fun little thing that's going to be added to the people that win. When I get that, I will present it to everybody. It's really cool. It's weird, but I think it's neat.
When are you going to speak?
You think it's neat, right? I know it's neat, right? You thought it was neat. So
when are you going to speak about that?
I will be at the next council meeting. I'll have a prototype here.
Prototype
here.
We're in it. We're in it.
Yeah, and I cannot wait to show you this, Cass. Cannot wait.
Oh, okay.
You have no idea. So it's a really cool, very about the town thing prize, but everybody, all 100 people will receive that. as a secondary prize to whatever they get, and then we'll have stuff left over to sell at the fall festival for people anyway to buy them. But it's really a cool little thing. But all in all the prizes cost about $23,000. And, so if you sell $25 worth of ticket and then do anything above one ticket be $20. So if you buy 2 tickets, you'll be $40, all right? So we're gonna only sell 2,000 tickets. If we sell all 2,000 tickets, we'll average between $45,000, which will generate 45 to 50,000 if everybody so that would be $20,000 in, money raised for the community that we can utilize. Now, 2,000 tickets might seem like a lot, but just for instance, there's on Facebook, I think Detective Gundo put up $25 for club box seats. They're only selling 1,000. You figure that's $25,000 to make it for club box seats. It's only 10 grand.
Yeah.
That's probably 10 grand. I don't even know. But so it's so they're making a fortune on that. We're not trying to make a fortune. We're going to sell it to our residents first for a month, and then we're going to open it up to anybody.
That's cool.
So I'd rather get our residents the first. We'll do a big marketing push, put it on Facebook, get people involved. You can come here and buy it. We're gonna create a Venmo account. It should go, I want to do it by mid-July, is have the raffles. We order the raffles. I think we're ordering next week. And then we'll have everything, because that's one of the things you authorize, because the American Legion is sponsoring it. Because you have to have a sponsor. We can't do it ourselves. So they're sponsoring it. So everything will be, all proceeds will go to the seniors. And that's how we're gonna run it, so.
Quick question.
Yes.
Let's, $25, I can get a $5,000 not me, but cruise, right? Let's say them tickets sell quickly. How many tickets you gonna sell?
2,000.
That's gonna be
Only
it.
for people that live in town or work in the community.
So,
Scarcity first.
what?
Sell on the scarcity, don't go more than 2,000.
Okay.
It just keeps it, I don't like to be above that. I really feel like you can keep the people.
Marketing 101 is make it scarce.
Yeah, make it more of a limited edition type thing. If you want to win, get it now before I put it out to everybody else. And like I said, every prize is 100. So if you got 100 prizes, you got a 1 in 200 chance of winning something. Like you get those.
Pretty good.
You think about the people that spend that $20 on the cheerleading and baseball tickets, and there's only 3 prizes, and they make 20 grand. They make 20 grand, and they give away 2,000.
Yeah.
So this is the better odds that you have, and I think a lot of people in the community will get involved and help out, and it goes to a good cause to help out seniors. I don't have
think it's awesome.
the whole program run out, but I think we can create a committee for the seniors to be in charge of the money. Once it's done, it'll be sitting in our account under the trust account, and then that they can be drawn down from as we go, and it doesn't have to be spent all in 1 year. So it can be done anytime. So I think it's a great idea.
It's a great idea.
So if anybody has any questions on that, or.
Well, I just want to say, this was your baby, this was your thought. Ryan put a lot into it for the 100-year celebration, which we didn't have. And then, the rest is history. And I went to Ryan, I said, I'd like to do something for the seniors. And he said, well, I think that's, whatever it may be. So.
And if it's successful, we'll do it again next year, maybe do a different grand prize.
Yeah.
And we can get the celebrations committee more money next year to do, you said you wanted to do amusements, more like that was a big hit last year. Then we'll have money to do the things that we want to do in the community. So let's maybe look into, this could be something we could do yearly for different causes every year. So let's see if we can make it successful. But every employee here sold 40, we would get close to the 2,000 pretty quickly. So we're not going to do it that way, but we will market it as much as we can.
Is he trying to tell us something?
Yeah. What's that?
You're trying to tell us something, right? We gotta.
Well,
No,
you figure everybody sold, it's 50 employees here, sold 10, that's 500.
Yeah.
You
No, I'm
sold
kidding.
40, you would sell the 2,000 tickets in no time. And but you're gonna go outside of town. That's why you wanna promote just the people inside of town first, and then go beyond. So, and then we'll live stream anytime, and any outside the top 10, the top 10 will all be done at the fall festival. The other 90 will be done at different times, but we'll do live streams that they can maybe do it at a council meeting or whatever, so people can see us pulling the tickets and see the witnesses, and all that stuff. I don't want to have any issues, and the grand prizes will be pulled by myself and the mayor at the fall festival, or Todd or something like that, because we cannot win these things, so.
Right, it's outside the box. I love it. It's cool.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah, I appreciate
I
it.
think it'll be fun for the community, but wait till you see the second prize, man. I can't wait to show you this thing. It's killing me not to tell you guys what it is.
Sounds like the second prize better than the first. prize.
Oh, it is way better. You'll want this more than you want the regular prize. I'm telling you. Telling you. Don't you agree with that, Mayor? Don't you agree with that?
I say, let's, I don't, yeah.
Can't hold it in.
Don't get it away
No,
yet.
I'm not, it's a,
Oh, Presley, actually. You'll get that.
no,
Yeah.
it's a really neat thing. I don't really know a whole lot about it, so you can't get anything out of me. My lips are sealed.
All right, so we do have an executive session. So we have a resolution number 112, 2025, excluding the public participation within a portion of the meeting on the Borough Council of the Borough of Brooklawn pursuant to NJSA 10:4-12. And this is matters, let's see where it is, be it resolved by Mayor and Council of the Borough of Brooklawn as follows: the public shall be excluded from the portion of the work session meeting conducted by the Borough Council on June 16, 2025, pertaining to matters contemplated, specifically anticipated litigation and contract negotiations under NJSA 10:4-12B7 concerning the Borough of Brooklawn. There will be no action taken after the meeting, after the executive session, and it should last no more than 30 minutes. I need a motion to accept. Second? All in favor?
Aye.
All right, we're now adjourned.
He said it.
Yeah, just.
Everybody on. Thank you for everybody for tuning in.
Thank you for being here.
Bye-bye.
Thank you for being here.
They never met their death.